I heard the scream before I saw the splash. It was faint at first, swallowed by the sound of engines and distant music from the river cruises drifting lazily down the Seine. But when it came again, louder, sharper, closer, it ricocheted off the water like a warning shot. "Isabella!" someone shouted. I spun toward the railing just as a figure toppled over the edge of the pedestrian bridge. Arms flailing, silhouette cutting through the Paris night like a falling shadow. My stomach dropped. Not again. Not tonight. Not her. I sprinted without thinking, heels slamming against the stone walkway. Grandma Elise, my 78-year-old firecracker of a grandmother, was screaming from behind me, her small voice cracking through the chaos. "Save him, Isabella. Don't let that foolish man drown before he apologizes properly." I didn't need to ask who she meant. My father was in the water. And I was the only one who could reach him. People gasped, phones lit up, someone yelled for help. And I clawed over the railing, heart pounding, lungs locking, the icy wind slicing across my skin. Below me, my father thrashed in the black water, sputtering, slapping wildly at the river like it had insulted him personally. "My phone," he choked. "My phone, my briefcase, my coat, help." Typical. Even drowning, he was bargaining with the universe about his belongings. "Hold still," I yelled. But of course he didn't. He flailed harder, slipping under for a breathless second. The crowd gasped. Grandma yelled, "Oh, for heaven's sake, Elias! It's water, not lava." I didn't hesitate. I jumped. The shock of the cold punched into my bones like a fist. The Seine swallowed me whole, swirling, violent, alive. I surfaced with a gasp, and instantly regretted it when a wave slapped me across the face. My father bobbed several feet away, wheezing. "Isabella!" he cried as if I had pushed him in. "Do something. Quickly. Good Lord, before I perish." "You're not perishing," I snapped, kicking toward him. "You're inconvenienced." He sputtered. "This is an assassination attempt." "It was an accident." "Then why does it feel personal?" "Because everything with him always did." When I reached him, I grabbed his collar. "Stop fighting me." "I'm not fighting. I'm negotiating with the water." "Stop negotiating." "I can't." I groaned and hauled him toward the rescue ladder as he continued flapping like a panicked pelican. Behind us, Grandma Elise leaned over the railing yelling encouragement and insults in equal measure. "Isabella, if he drops that briefcase again, leave it. That thing has caused more trouble than it's worth." Of course. The briefcase. The one that started all this. And the reason we were standing here, midnight, soaked, furious, and inches away from a family implosion big enough to shake Paris. As I dragged my father out of the river, coughing, dripping, glaring at me as if I were somehow responsible for gravity, I didn't know yet that this night was the beginning of the biggest twist our family had ever faced. And to understand how we ended up here, with the patriarch nearly drowning and Grandma cheering from the sidelines, we have to go back to the beginning of the sequel, to 3 days earlier, to the moment Paris stopped being peaceful, and our newly repaired lives began to fall apart again. When Grandma and I returned home from our blissfully chaotic Paris Christmas, I honestly thought things would settle down. After all, I had officially inherited the Delacourt estate. My family had panicked, screamed, argued, and then, after a long period of stunned silence, retreated. We had survived the most dramatic holiday season in the history of Calder Heights. Grandma had developed a taste for luxury hotel soaps. I had finally stopped flinching every time my phone buzzed. And for the first time in my life, my parents had been forced to sit across from me and realize that I was not someone they could manipulate anymore. It should have been peaceful. But peace is overrated. Besides, my family never met a calm situation they couldn't turn into a melodrama worthy of a streaming series. So when my father called me, voice unusually gentle, I knew something was wrong. "Isabella Bella," he said, "your mother and I have been doing some thinking. That alone was suspicious. And we want to make things right." My eyebrows rose so high they nearly left my face. "You want to apologize?" "Well," he hedged, "something adjacent to an apology. Meaning, a conversation." There it was. My family didn't apologize. They disguised apologies inside long, exhausting conversations where they strategically forgot the original issue. But something was different. His voice trembled. Fearfully. "We need your help," he added quietly. "With something urgent." I didn't know then that this phone call was the spark that would ignite a whirlwind of a stolen document, a decades-old conspiracy, a missing heirloom, a panicked family, a Paris police officer with too much confidence, a grandmother with zero patience, a betrayal none of us saw coming, and my father falling into the Seine while shouting about political sabotage. But that's the story. The sequel. And it starts with the thing I should have said on that call. No. But I didn't. I said the 3 words that doomed us all. "What's going on?" And that, as Grandma later put it, was the moment the plot thickened like week-old gravy. A twist involving a stranger they think I hired. Grandma's escalating commentary. Humor mixed with chaos. The beginning of the conspiracy that leads to the Seine incident. If I had known that agreeing to visit my parents' house would end in a police investigation, an international chase, and my father floating down the Seine like an angry otter, I would have turned off my phone and thrown it into Puget Sound. But I didn't. Instead, I drove to their house. The same house where I had been demoted from daughter to inconvenient variable. When I walked into the living room, my mother was wringing her hands over a throw pillow like she was interrogating it. My father paced like a man on the brink of confessing to a federal crime. My brother Mark sat stiffly in a corner, pretending not to exist. Grandma, of course, came with me. She marched inside like she owned the place. "Carol," she said cheerfully to my mother, "you look like you've been left unsupervised again." My mother sighed. "Mother, please. Not until you prove you can make decisions without catastrophic consequences." I almost snorted. Almost. I sat down. "Okay," I said. "What's the emergency?" My father froze. My mother swallowed. Mark avoided eye contact like the truth was radioactive. Finally, Dad walked toward me holding a black leather briefcase. Not his usual work one. This one was older, weathered, locked with a tarnished brass latch. And I recognized it instantly. "Is that?" "Yes," Dad said. "It's your grandfather's." My chest tightened. Grandpa Delaney, quiet, brilliant, meticulous, had kept exactly one locked case in his life. He guarded it more fiercely than he guarded his favorite whiskey. He told me once, when I was 9, "This briefcase contains things that must never be lost, Isabella." And then he winked and said, "Or your grandmother will kill me." But he never told me what was inside. When he passed, we all assumed the documents had gone through legal channels. Apparently not. My mother cleared her throat. "Your father went into the attic to put away the Christmas decorations," she said. "And he found this shoved behind an insulation panel." Dad muttered. "It wasn't shoved. It was hidden." I raised an eyebrow. "Okay, so open it?" "We can't," Dad said. "Someone already did." He flipped the briefcase around. The lock was snapped, brutally forced open. Fresh scratches marked the metal. Grandma gasped. "Someone broke into the attic?" "Into the attic? That's like burglarizing the least interesting part of a house." Mark finally spoke. "It gets worse." He pointed at the inside. The case wasn't empty, but there were only 3 things left. 1. A slip of paper with Grandpa's handwriting. 2. A single brass key. 3. A torn corner of a document, ripped clean out. My heart dropped. "What was the document?" I asked. My parents exchanged glances. My mother whispered, "We don't know. But whoever broke into this house knew exactly what they were looking for." Grandma folded her arms. "Was it one of you? Because historically, this family has the dramatic range of a daytime soap." "No, that's snapped. This was a professional job. Clean. Fast. And they left no fingerprints." He paused. "And the person on the security camera feed looked familiar." My stomach twisted. Familiar how? Dad hesitated. Then he picked up the remote, switched on the TV, and loaded the footage. The grainy black and white recording flickered, showing the attic. A shadow. A figure. Slim. Hooded. Moving with precision. Then the moment that made my blood freeze. When the intruder passed beneath the lone hanging bulb, the hood slipped back just an inch, revealing a glimpse of hair. Curls. Dark. Soft. And a jawline I definitely recognized. My own. My father whispered, "Isabella, the person who broke in looks exactly like you." My first instinct was laughter. Hysterical, unhinged laughter. "Dad," I said, "do you seriously think I broke into your attic while I was in Paris eating escargot and managing a legal coup?" My mother mumbled, "We don't know what you do anymore." Mark raised a hand timidly. "It could have been. Aitee." Grandma slapped the back of his head. "AI doesn't climb ladders, Mark." But the resemblance was uncanny. Same height. Same build. Same hair texture. Same quick, purposeful movements. Someone was pretending to be me. Dad stepped closer. "That's why we called you," he said. "We need you to help us figure out who did this, and why they wanted something your grandfather hid." My mind raced. Who would impersonate me? Why break into my parents' home? Why steal a document that belonged to Grandpa? Why leave behind a key? And then I saw the small slip of paper still inside the briefcase. Grandpa's handwriting. My breath caught. I lifted it carefully. A single line. "Isabella, if you're reading this, the answer is not in the house. It's where our story began." My pulse quickened. Grandpa always spoke in riddles. But this felt deliberate. Urgent. A message meant for me. Grandma gasped dramatically. "Oh Lord. He sent you on a quest. We're all going to die." "We're not going to die," I said. "Speak for yourself," she muttered. Dad sat down heavily. "Isabella, someone thinks you already know what he hid." My mother added softly, "And maybe they think you're the only one who can find the rest." A chill crept down my spine. I looked again at the stolen fragment. Edges jagged, torn like someone ripped it in haste. I turned it over. One number was visible in the corner. 14/76. Page number? Code. Coordinates? Grandma peered over my shoulder. "Well, that doesn't help. It looks like the beginning of a math problem, and I do not do math unless it's grocery discounts." But my brain was firing. Who stole Grandpa's document? Why impersonate me? What did they think I knew? Grandpa's message echoed. Where our story began. The house where he was born? The small mining town he grew up in? The school where he met Grandma? Or, a sudden thought hit me so hard I stood up straight. Grandma frowned. "What? What did you solve?" "The hospital," I whispered. "Grandpa always said our story began the night I was born." Grandma blinked. "Oh dear. This is about you. Or what happened to me," I corrected. Dad stood. "So you'll help." I took a breath. And fate sealed itself shut. "I'll help," I said. "But I want full access. Everything you know, everything Grandpa hid, and no more secrets." My parents exchanged guilty looks. That was answer enough. That night, I couldn't sleep. Grandpa's message. The stolen page. The identical intruder. The key. The number 14/76. None of it connected. Not yet. But something in my gut told me. This wasn't about money. Or family drama. Or even the trust. This was bigger. Older. More dangerous. Grandma knocked on my door in her pajamas and said, "Pack a bag, Isabella. If someone is impersonating you, we're not waiting around to be kidnapped. Also bring snacks." I raised an eyebrow. "Where are we going?" She held up the key. "To find whatever that thing unlocks," she said cheerfully. "And hopefully not die in the process." Grandma insisted we leave before dawn. Why? Because according to her, thrillers always start at sunrise, Isabella. No one ever uncovers secrets at 2 p.m. in broad daylight. That's for grocery shopping and depression naps. So at 5:11 a.m., we were in my car, the stolen key in the glove box, the scrap of paper in my pocket, and Grandma clutching a thermos the size of a fire extinguisher. "Hospital first," she said. "No arguing." I drove through the sleeping streets, headlights cutting through the mist. Every turn felt heavy with possibility, or doom. Hard to tell. The hospital where I was born wasn't far. A quiet 3-story building with outdated windows that desperately wanted to be modern. Grandpa used to joke. You were born in a place held together by duct tape and prayer. We pulled into the empty parking lot. Grandma stretched her neck dramatically. All right. Let's go find the reason someone broke into an attic and committed identity fraud. Grandma, that's not. Oh, don't sass me. This is a plot twist waiting to happen. The night receptionist was half asleep, half disinterested, fully hating her job. Birth records, she repeated. At this hour? Grandma slapped the counter. I'm 82. At this hour I could die. Fetch the files. The receptionist blinked. Slowly. Fearfully. We got the files. We sat in a dim hallway, records spread out on a metal table. My mother's handwriting listed my birth weight. My father's signature confirmed paternity. But the third sheet, a small carbon copy form, made my blood run ice cold. There were 2 infants listed under my mother's name. Me and infant B. Grandma inhaled sharply. Oh damn. My hands shook. Grandma. What is this? Her face tightened, eyes glistening. Your grandfather. He always feared this would surface. But I didn't think. Infant B. I whispered. Was there supposed to be a twin? Grandma held my gaze. No, Isabella. There was a twin. My heart stopped. What happened to her? Grandma swallowed. She didn't die, sweetheart. She de-Isabel appeared. Now it made sense. The impersonator. The matching build. The matching hair. The flawless movements. She looked like me. Because she was me. Or at least half of me. Grandma continued quietly. Your parents were told she had breathing complications. That she was transferred. Then that she had passed. That wasn't true? No. Your grandfather dug deeper. He found falsified transfer logs. Missing medical records. And one nurse who conveniently retired the next day and moved out of state. I covered my mouth. Why didn't he tell me? Grandma looked away. Your parents refused to hear it. They wanted peace. Your grandfather wanted truth. But when he realized the truth might be dangerous, he locked away everything he found. My breath felt thin. And the stolen document probably contained the proof he gathered. The proof someone else wants. I closed my eyes. Someone broke into the attic because they were looking for her. The twin. The missing piece. The beginning of the conspiracy. Grandma placed a trembling hand over mine. You aren't imagining things, Isabella. Someone out there knows exactly who you are. And who she is. A chill slithered down my spine. I wasn't dealing with a random thief. I was dealing with my mirror. The brass key had a faded engraving. LH14. I recognized those letters instantly. Legacy House. I whispered. Grandma stiffened. You think so? Legacy House wasn't a house. It was an abandoned research building outside town. A place defunded decades ago after a scandal involving improper neonatal trials. Trials involving premature infants. Infants like me. Grandma muttered. Oh, I hate this. This feels like those Netflix limited series where one twin becomes an assassin. Grandma. Well, am I wrong? I didn't answer. Because part of me was genuinely wondering the same thing. Legacy House sat at the end of a cracked road, overgrown with vines, windows boarded, roof sagging under decades of neglect. Yet as we approached, one thing stood out. A single window on the second floor was lit. Dimly. Flickering. Like someone waited. Grandma whispered. If we die here, Isabella, I want you to know I never liked your uncle's cooking. He seasons like a man who fears God, but not hypertension. Grandma, please. We climbed out of the car. I held the key. I walked toward the rusted front doors. My pulse was in my throat. As I inserted the key into the corroded lock, a shadow passed behind the frosted glass. A soft voice spoke from the other side. A voice that sounded like mine. You're late, Isabella. Grandma screamed. I froze. The door unlocked itself. It opened slowly. And I saw her. Same face. Same eyes. Same posture. But colder. Sharper. as if carved by a life I couldn't imagine. She smiled faintly. I've been waiting for you. My missing twin. Alive. Breathing. Staring right at me. For a second, I forgot how to breathe. Because standing in the doorway of Legacy House, in the crumbling ruins of an abandoned neonatal research facility, was me. Or rather, the girl I should have grown up with. The sister I never knew. The shadow I'd been unknowingly sharing a world with. Her eyes skimmed over me with clinical precision, like she was memorizing every detail. She stepped forward. Isabella, she said softly. I'm Mara. Ma. The name hit like an echo of something half-remembered. Grandma poked her head out from behind my shoulder and squinted suspiciously. Well, she said bluntly, you're pretty. Too pretty. I don't trust it. Mara blinked. Slowly. Then looked at me. She's hostile. She's Grandma. That's her resting personality. I heard that, Grandma snapped. Mara's lips tugged in the faintest flicker of amusement. A flicker that vanished instantly when something creaked behind her. She grabbed my wrist. We don't have time. They followed you. My blood ran cold. They. Her grip tightened. The people who took me. The ones who stole the document. The ones who want what your grandfather hid. A door slammed deeper inside the building. Mara stiffened. They're here. Legacy House was a maze of cracked tile floors, rusted doors, and hallways that smelled like old chemicals and colder secrets. Mara dragged me through a stairwell while Grandma followed behind us whispering prayers, insults, and commentary in equal rotation. I told you this was a terrible idea, she hissed. If I die here, Isabella, I swear I will haunt your father. Forever. Grandma. I gasped, please. Another echo thundered down the hall. Footsteps. Heavy ones. Fast ones. Mara pushed us into a long corridor lit only by slivers of early morning light slicing through boarded windows. Who's following us? I whispered. Mara didn't slow. The people who funded Legacy House. The ones who hid the research. They were supposed to shut this place down quietly. But I was the loose end. And the document? She swallowed hard. It was proof. Proof of what they did. Proof that your grandfather discovered everything just before he died. My chest tightened. And what did he find, Mara? She hesitated just long enough to terrify me. Not here, she whispered. Walls have ears. Grandma snorted. Great. The walls are spies. Lovely. We reached a dead end. A boarded-up window. Mara grabbed a broken metal stretcher and rammed it against the boards. The wood cracked. Push, she ordered. Grandma and I shoved. Light burst through the gaps. Mara climbed out first. I followed. Grandma hesitated at the window frame, muttering, if I break my hip again, someone's paying my medical bills. I reached down and pulled her through. Just as the footsteps hit the other side of the wall, we scrambled across a patch of frost-covered weeds behind the building, toward the line of trees bordering the property. That's when I saw them. 3 figures in dark suits, moving like trained professionals. Not burglars. Not amateurs. Agents. Keep moving, Mara hissed. But Grandma, of course, had other ideas. She planted her feet, turned toward the approaching men, and yelled, Stop right there. I'm old, angry, and I vote. I yanked her arm. Grandma, please run. We tore through the line of trees, branches slicing at my coat. My lungs burned. My heart thudded like a drum. Mara didn't slow once. Not until we reached the slope leading down toward a drainage canal. She grabbed my arm. We jump. What? No time to debate. She leapt. I screamed and followed. Grandma landed beside us, somehow looking offended. I am too old for gravity, she grumbled. We crouched behind the concrete lip of the canal while the agents spread out above, scanning the grounds with flashlights. Mara whispered. You shouldn't have come. They were hoping you would. I frowned. Why? Because they think you have the missing pages. I shook my head. I don't. They were stolen. Mara's eyes narrowed. Isabella. They weren't stolen. What? You had them. My stomach dropped. What do you mean I had them? Mara looked me dead in the eyes. Your grandfather left 2 envelopes. One for your grandmother, And one for you. I only got one. No, she whispered. You got both. But one was taken the night you were born. The lights above us grew brighter. Grandma gasped. Oh my God. Isabella. Infant B didn't die Isabella appear. She was taken. Mara nodded. And whoever took me, took your envelope too. My pulse pounded. What was in it? Mara looked at me, really looked. And her answer made my heart lurch. A list of names your grandfather believed had a role in my disappearance. Names. Powerful ones. Dangerous ones. Ones who would burn down worlds to keep that list from resurfacing. And now, Mara whispered, those same people think you have it. My breath hitched. So they tried to break into the attic, pretending to be me. Yes. And they followed us here. Yes. And they'll keep coming? Yes. Just then a flashlight beam swept across the edge of the canal. Grandma muttered. I knew this family wasn't built for quiet hobbies. Mara grabbed my shoulders. We need to leave right now. But she never finished the sentence. Because a shadow dropped down into the canal behind us. Tall. Cold. Silent. An agent. He spoke into a radio. Target located. And Mara pushed me behind her. Run, Isabella. Run. The moment the agent dropped into the canal behind us, everything exploded into motion. Mara shoved me forward. Go. Grandma did not go. Instead, she picked up a broken tree branch and shouted, I raised 3 children and lived through 4 recessions. Get away from my granddaughters. The agent blinked. Mom. She swung the branch. He dodged it, horrified and confused. Which bought us exactly 3 seconds. Mara pulled me up the concrete embankment toward the forest again, but another agent cut off our escape path, shouting into his radio. Both targets in sight. Repeat, both targets. Grandma hurled her purse at him. Stop chasing girls who did nothing wrong, you bureaucratic fence post. Her purse hit him squarely in the face. Mara whispered, amazed. She's aggressive. She's Grandma, I panted. But our chances were slim. 3 agents. 1 embankment. No exits. Then out of nowhere. Headlights flashed across the canal. A car screeched to a stop. And my father, coat flapping, tie askew, face pale with terror, leapt out yelling, Get your hands off my daughters. I froze. He came back for us. Actually came back. The agents turned his way, and for one beautiful, heroic moment, I thought he might save us. Then he tripped on the slope and tumbled directly into the canal. Face first. Grandma screamed. Oh, for heaven's sake, Elias, not again. Mara blinked. Is he always like this? Constantly. This was how we ended up at the Seine later that night, him flailing like an angry sea lion while I jumped in after him. But first, the confrontation. The 3 agents froze as my father thrashed dramatically in the icy water. One of them muttered, Is he dying or performing? Both, I said. Grandma yelled down from the slope. If you want to arrest someone, arrest the corporation that created this mess. This stopped the agents. All of them. Their shoulders stiffened. Their expressions shifted. Mara inhaled sharply. You 2 don't know, do you? Know what? I whispered. She looked at the agents, and they looked at her. Recognition. Fear. And then, protocol shift, 1 agent barked. Do not approach the twins. They are protected individuals. The air changed. I blinked. Protected by who? Another agent lowered his radio reluctantly. By the founder of Legacy House. Grandma gasped. He's still alive. The agent nodded. Yes. And he requested we deliver a message if we ever encountered either of the twins. He reached into his jacket pocket and pulled out a sealed envelope stamped with an insignia I remembered instantly. My grandfather's. The agent handed it to me. Then he did something shocking. He stepped back and bowed his head. As of this moment, he said, you are not our targets. You are our priority. Why? I whispered. Because, he said, your grandfather instructed that you and the missing twin must be protected at all costs. My heart dropped. Grandpa knew. He knew she was alive. He knew she was taken. He knew someone might come after us. And he planned for it. Freed us from it. Protected us from beyond the grave. The agents backed away. Mara's shoulders trembled. Grandma wiped her eyes. Even my father, still coughing in the water, managed a strangled. Does this mean I'm safe? Because I feel unsafe. When the agents drove away, we sat together under the old trees behind Legacy House. The envelope in my hands felt heavier than its size. Inside was a single sheet of paper, just like before. My grandfather's final message. His handwriting wavered from age, but the words were iron. Isabella, if you are reading this, the truth has found you. I could not protect both of you when you were born, but I could ensure that one day, you would find each other. The world is not kind to girls who know too much. So I taught you to survive. And I taught Mara to run. Now comes the time to teach both of you to live. The secrets of Legacy House are buried. Let them stay buried. What matters now is your future, together. And your family's future, healed. They will come to understand the mistakes they made. Be patient with them, even if they were not patient with you. My eyes blurred. He knew. He believed in us. He planned everything so that neither of us would be alone forever. Mara wiped a tear quietly. Grandma sniffled. My father coughed again. Can someone please help me out of the canal now? No, we all said at once. That evening, we sat in my parents' living room. All of us soaked, exhausted, traumatized, and somehow starving. Mara joined us. My family stared at her like she was an alien. Grandma introduced her with a flourish. This is Mara, Isabella's twin. She's smarter than Mark and less dramatic than your father. Mara nodded politely. Hello. Dad swallowed hard. We've made mistakes. My mother elbowed him sharply. No. You hurt her. And me. And Mara. And it stops today. Dad blinked. Carol. I talked to your grandmother, Mom said, turning to me. She was right. You did see further. You were always ahead of us. We just didn't understand you. Mom's eyes filled. We're sorry, Isabella. For everything. My father exhaled shakily. I never thought I'd say this, but I was wrong. Completely wrong. About your strength. Your judgment. Your future. Grandma smirked. Write it down, Elias. Frame it. But then my father turned to Mara. And you. I'm sorry we never fought harder to keep you safe. Mara stared at him quietly, then nodded once. And that was enough. I didn't realize I was crying until Grandma shoved a tissue box at my face. Oh, stop it, she muttered. Happy endings make me itchy. We decided to celebrate the end of all the chaos with a simple, quiet dinner. But simple and quiet lasted exactly 8 minutes. Because Mark spilled cranberry juice everywhere. Dad accidentally set a bread roll on fire. Mara didn't understand how seat warmers worked and screamed. And Grandma yelled. This family would not survive one episode of Survivor. We laughed until we couldn't breathe. Even Dad. Even me. Even Mara. Who laughed so hard she fell off her chair. For the first time ever, the Delaney family wasn't divided. We were a mess. Chaotic. Ridiculous. Healing. Together. And I realized something. Paris didn't fix us. Power didn't fix us. Truth didn't fix us. We fixed us. One disaster at a time. And for the first time, I didn't feel alone. Please click the subscribe button, like, share and comment. This will encourage me to make more interesting stories. Also, let's know where you are watching from. Thank you and see you in the next story.